don't know what he's on about.
Retired by their age different on it.
Are you better, Tom?
Oh, that type of noise.
Take care, love.
I'm here.
Good lass. John. How you doing? Yeah. Come on, yes. No, wait a minute. Not well at all. She said, "Your missus for a thing."
Yeah.
Everybody's vote counts, doesn't it? What? No.
Very poor operating. I got 1 second and she got a sister in a second. That's all we got.
She wants to choke. You
What?
want to choke. Does anybody else want to
Ah.
choke? Bye. Take your shorts.
How big do you think your neck is on?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending tonight's meeting. If you've got a mobile phone, could you please switch it on silent or off, please, for the duration of this meeting. Would appreciate that. Notice of annual council meeting. You are hereby summoned to attend the annual council meeting of Emsworth Town Council to be held in the main hall, Emsworth Town Council Community Centre, Bunshaw Road, Emsworth, commencing at 7 p.m. on Thursday the 12th of May 2022 for the purpose of transaction the following business. Item number 1.
Chair, before we start, and I will just reference the items that have for recording votes, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman, that's numbers 1, 5, 8, 23, 24, 26, 29, 32, 33, 34.
Oh, God.
That would approve it.
Alan.
Few meetings.
Yeah, you just say, the bishop, make sure it's done.
So if I move on to item number 1, election of chairman. To elect a chairman of the council for the ensuing year. Have I any proposals, please?
I propose Sean Middleton.
Can I have a show then for Sean Middleton? Councillor Sean Middleton. Have I any other amendments to that? I've got a proposal here for Councillor Jean Eccles. I'll second that. Can I have a show, please? So there's 7 for Sean Middleton, 7 votes for Councillor Jean Eccles. The chairman has the casting vote, so the casting vote is that Jean Eccles will be chairman of the council for the ensuing year. Thank you.
You were right, weren't you? Absolutely. Unbelievable.
So we can't vote twice. They tell me not to say no, so I'm not saying no.
Going in the standing orders.
Is that a con?
What's happening?
Well, they know that one, don't they?
There you go.
Hang on a minute, if he resigned or stood down, he should have casted a vote.
No.
He hasn't resigned, that's the whole thing.
I'd just like to thank
Don't bother.
Let's just say no.
Don't really bother.
Yes, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this meeting. I'd just like to thank Councillor Kenyon for his 3 years in chairmanship. And we're just going to move straight on then now to item 2, declarations, to receive the chairman's declaration of acceptance of office. The chairman to sign his declaration of acceptance of office in the ensuing year.
Oh, your mate will be happy about it. Imagine it.
Yeah, yeah, on the motion.
No. I've only used them.
Right, item 3, apologies for absence. To receive apologies for absence and consider and approve the reasons for absence that all attended. Item 4, declarations of interest and dispensation requests. Council should disclose pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest in any items of this agenda. I don't think there is any, but if there is, obviously councillors can make them at the time. Election of vice chairman to elect vice chairman of the council for the ensuing year.
I'll propose Stan Wilson.
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
And I'll second that.
Right, can we do the can we have the first proposal first, which were for Stan? All in, so we'll vote for Stan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can you vote for his sin?
So that's 7. Yeah. So then we've got proposal for Councillor Hurd. That's 7 again. So Chairman has casting the vote. So Stan Wilson is Vice Chairman.
Hey! What a surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Mr. Say Nothing.
Item 6, to receive the Vice Chairman's declaration of acceptance of office. The Vice Chairman to sign his declaration of acceptance of the office for the ensuing year. Item 7, public question time.
Go on, Kathy.
If anybody wants to ask a question, then obviously we'll do it hands up, we'll answer it, and if you can give your name so that the clerk can note down everybody and what they're asking, so we can always go back to it. Yes.
Yes, Kathy Thornhill. Kathy Thornhill. Mr. Drayton, can I have this minuted, please? And the reason that I want this minuted is because in the last meetings, 2 meetings, that you will be approving the minutes of, the information that I was given on both occasions now turns out was the incorrect information. So, sorry to have to keep going over this, but in my eyes, we want a truthful answer, not a fabricated answer that fits the narrative. So on the 24th of March, I asked about an invoice regarding gala tents, which is for the marquee, about the installation. Did that include, was that included in the costs? I was told by the previous chairperson that it was done by in-house by staff. Obviously on the 27th of April it came to light that there was an invoice in the accounts showing for installation by a contractor. Mr. Kenyon in the meeting said again that it was done in-house due to the fact that the contractor turned up late and he actually helped with the installation. Mr Draper asked me to send in the information to him, which I did. We've had correspondence backwards and forwards because I wasn't getting the correct information. It now transpires that Mr Kenyon has said to Mr Draper that it was done by the contractor, but with the assistance of in-house staff and himself. So what I'm asking is, what is the truth? Because whenever I ask a question in these meetings, I'm getting fabricated answers. A little bit like when I asked about the carpets removed from your property and people actually saw them being burnt. Mr Draper then came back and said, no, they weren't burnt, they were actually in the skip, and that he had physically been down and seen them. So my answer to Mr Draper was, if he'd seen the carpets in the skip, why didn't he have them removed and put back on your property for you to dispose of them like everybody else would have had to do? So my question is, moving forward, now that you're the new chairperson, can we actually have truthful answers
No.
and not fabricated to fit the narrative?
So you're calling Gina a liar, are you?
Can I ask the first one, please, Madam Chair?
She's a liar.
Yes.
Yes, just a question. Like you said, on the 24th of March, and which state?
Excuse me, while I'm asking a question, if you don't want to listen, can you leave the room and come back in? And come back
Excuse
in
me,
when
can
you've
we
finished.
just one speak at a time, please, and come through the chair, thank you.
Before you answer the question, then, Chair, can we ask the gentleman at the back not to
Heckle people.
I've just said come through the chair, that applies to everybody.
It's slightly different to coming through the chair if you're just heckling other people that like to ask a question. It's just heckling people.
I'd like to answer that if I can. I think, from memory, what I said to you were, because we're going back to 2019, our lads erected all steel work and most of that tent. The contractor did turn up, but he turned up late, about 1 o'clock. Obviously, that's back in about 4 or 5 o'clock. But he did help put the sheets on, because they wouldn't have been able to put them on, because there was a certain way that you had to do it. And then he came back the next day just to check everything and show them how to put ties in. So he was there. He also came on site, if my memory serves me right, when it was taken down first time, just to supervise on folding up and putting away, which they did. So yeah, he was late getting there, but I did tell you they were on site and he helped put covers on. He didn't tell.
On the 24th, you didn't. You said outright
Yes.
it was done in-house.
Yes, it was
On
done
the
in-house.
27th of April, you did actually say that he turned up late around 2 or 3 o'clock. So again, what?
Yeah, but
obviously
what
you said that
I'm
you
saying to you is he didn't actually put the steel work up. The council lad put the steel work up. He put the covers on. He put the covers on and helped put the covers on and supervised finishing off of it.
So why have we paid the full amount to
He
the
cha-
contractor
He
then?
charged £300 and that figure, I believe, when it was purchased, was paid prior to him coming out. It was,
No,
you
it
know,
wasn't.
well,
Well,
like
the
I
other
say, it
thing
was.
is, what I
No,
want...
well, I don't pay checks, I mean, Alan pays checks, so your best bet is to
Yeah,
ask
well,
him.
that's the other thing that I've actually asked Mr Draper and he hasn't come back to me. I've asked, normal businesses have a visitor's book where contractors sign in and out of. Mr Draper hasn't come back to me to say if there is a visitor's book and whether I can view it.
That particular day it never stopped raining. And he turned up about 1 or 2 o'clock, and it was here about 5 or 6 o'clock. And whatever they did, he invoiced council for it, and council were obliged to pay it.
Well, what,
And to be honest with you, without his help, that wouldn't have got finished that day.
Right, is there any more questions?
Yeah, I've actually got another. So, Mr. Draper, can you answer that about the visitors book, or are you going to actually correspond back to
I'll
them?
correspond with you, it's only been a couple of days, hasn't it?
Right, okay.
Right.
And the next question is the item 16, which is the asset register, which again I brought up in the 24th of March meeting about when would it be published, and I also said it needed to be in more detail. Mr. Draper actually said to me, well, he wouldn't itemise everything because he couldn't itemise bottles of water. Can I just actually point out an asset register isn't your stock, that's called stock, not assets. So can the asset register be done in a more professional way with more in-depth detail, please?
Well,
It will be updated, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, is there any more questions? Can we have your name and yes, sir.
Right, just reverting back to what this lady had, and it's to Mr. Kenyon. Right, these council lads, what you said, erected this steelwork, have they got any certificates to say they're allowed to do it, yes or no? If they haven't, you are breaking the law.
They don't need it.
Yes, you do.
Right.
Yes, you do.
We can't, I've just been informed, we cannot discuss council staff.
Right, so I've just asked a question about the certificate of erecting steelwork. If they haven't got one, they are not allowed to do it. And he is breaking the law.
Allowing them to do it.
One way or another, he's breaking the law.
Now, report us to
Okay? I'll report you to health and safety, Mr. Kenyon, because you're not
Excuse me, if
a
you
rubbish
sit
man.
down, I'm going to have you removed from meeting.
No, I'll sit down here. 'Cause
Right, is there any more questions, please? Right, no, so we'll move on. Item 8, Chairman's allowance. Sorry. Chairman's allowance, you have to read this next one.
You'll point it out.
Yeah.
To determine the amount of the chairman's allowance presented in section 15 Local Government Act 1972.
Mr. Vice Chairman, the current allowance is £2,000. It's up to the council tonight whether it wants to keep that or amend it.
It's up to £2,000.
It's £2,000 at the moment, but it's up to the council. The council can keep it back, can make it nothing, or half that, it's up to the council.
Yeah, but at the moment it's 2,000.
It's usually put back into council.
Yeah, I don't know. The money he gets, he puts it back in council anyway. So, I'm gonna, yeah. All in favour, it stops as it is. Yeah.
That's 7, so Mr. Vice Chairman, you need to ask for all those against that.
they're all bent as a man but no.
Is there anybody against that? I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's carried, yeah.
Thank you for that. We'll move on to item 9, committee structure and terms of reference, to confirm or otherwise determine the council's committee structure and the according respective terms of reference. Alan?
Yeah, there are still the 3 standing committees, Madam Chair. I'd recommend that the same structure remains.
in favour of that, but it remains the same? Yeah. Item 10, committee membership to appoint members to serve on committees.
Yes, there has to be a minimum of 3 councillors and a maximum of 14 on each committee. So it needs a proposal between those. I'm coming in order by saying that normally Councillor Mitchell can't usually attend committee meetings, so the standard practice has been to have all members apart from him. If I'm incorrect, then please do correct me, Councillor Mitchell.
Are we all in? Eric? Do you want to say? Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, it's not as if you haven't just done it. You were the same last year, weren't it? So that's fine. And if it ends the day. No, no. Yeah, so can we have a vote on that? Item 11, calendar of meetings to agree dates, times, venues and meetings for the ensuing year.
Same as previously.
Are we having the same as previous years? Yeah. Item 12, financial regulations to review and adopt the council's financial regulations. Item 13. So, excuse me, so it's not changed, so are we going to vote the same? Yeah.
But that one, financial regulations, what is it? Read it out loud.
Item 13, standing orders and code of conduct to review and adopt the council's standing orders and the code of conduct.
They're the same as last time.
Can we have a show for it to say the same? Item 14, data protection, general data protection regulations, GDPR, to review and adopt the council's data protection, GDPR policies.
They were amended in March, so it's just to reaffirm those.
In regards to the email we've received today, can we look at that one? I want to review them again.
Yeah.
Please.
They need reviewing again then. Yeah.
Right, so we'll refer it and then gives our councils to have another look as well. Item 15, policies to review and adopt all other policies, i.e. equal opportunities, complaints, media, staff handbook, whistleblowing and recording of the council meetings. Can we have a show of hands to say the same? 16, asset register, to review and adopt the council's asset register. Yeah. Item 17, representatives on the outside bodies, to appoint 2 voting representatives to the Yorkshire Local Councils Association. Is anybody wanting this? You need 2 members?
It's currently yourself and Councillor Westmoreland, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that wants to? So, Donna Moran, Maxine Hurd.
No, I don't want to be on it. I'm nominating Maxine.
Right, so Anne Westland, Maxine Hurd.
Such talk, you know.
18, general power of competence to confirm the council's eligibility to the general power of competence.
It's the same, yes.
Item 19, legal advisors solicitors, to appoint legal advisor solicitors of the council in respect of planning and general legal matters and human resources.
I think these need reviewing. I think these need reviewing. Definitely need reviewing.
Right, so can we have? Yeah, and we've got a second. So
Unbelievable, we've lost everything.
So can we have a show of hands on that one to say the same? The same.
Still needs reviewing.
Right. Have we got any other proposals then?
Yeah.
The vote against.
That's 8.
we get dates and time, right?
Item 20, Town Council meetings to approve the respective minutes of the council meetings held on 24th of March 2022 and 7th of April 2022 and the extraordinary council meetings held on 14th and 27th of April 2022 as detailed in minute book 7.
Can we have a move? Can I discuss that lady? You know, in the minutes, what you mentioned,
Yes.
does it specifically state in minutes that I stated that we didn't have any...
You haven't produced the minutes. It was on the 24th of March and the 27th of April, which is what you're actually...
Yeah, I think this is what we're approving now. Yeah.
You should watch the video though.
And on the video, Mr. Kenyon, you actually did say that it was done in-house. You actually said that. No, you said he wasn't there. What I said you should do is look at the video and you can see she was there. You're right, Kathy, I've watched it 3 times. And I don't I check what I'm stating. Word for word.
Right, item 21, committees and subcommittee meetings. So we've got to adopt the minutes of committees and their respective subcommittees as follows. Leisure and Recreation, 7th of April 2022. Finance, 14th of April 2022. Policy and Planning, 14th of April 2022. Can we have a second? Yeah. Item 22, accounts for payments, to confirm the payments of account and approve the Finance Committee meeting held on the 14th of April 2022. Over. Item 23, plant machinery, possible disposal, to consider disposing of some, all of the council's plant machinery. Can you
Madam Chair, just before members take a vote on this, I've spoke to the grounds maintenance lads, and the only thing they would ask that they be kept is a smaller digger, not what the size of it is now, but a smaller one. But obviously it's up to the council.
So I don't think the tractor in the grass could put us anything, it's not even in that anyway.
I've asked for this. We've got this machinery originally for the sports complex and all the big jobs what we thought was going to come up. Right, and what happened was, I got the digger, the trailer and the tractor to pull it. But unfortunately, the tractor will not. It will pull it in first gear, low, up Clark Hill. Just another thing, Rob can drive it, and that's about all. It's the initial of the park, and I'm asking for disposal and get a smaller one, like someone mentioned, half the size or quarter, whatever is decided. It's far too big. The trailer is too, the trailer and the digger is far too heavy for that tractor. Now the tractor's brilliant, the cutter's brilliant, but then we've got a dumper, 8 ton. It went down bottom of the park last year, you can still see where it went.
I've got to agree, you know, I think majority of work's been done, and I can't see why we can't have a, you know, get these sold if all members agree, and that we get a smaller.
If we put them in part exchange for a smaller digger, not a massive
I think we, you know, we agreed to that anyway. I think they've done, like you just
But I
said, the
want to
job.
vote on this.
Well, we're going to vote on it anyway, so are we all in the same
We'll get
mindset?
some valuations.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
No, that's not the motion, is it? The motion is to sell it.
To sell them,
We
yeah.
need a valuation.
We don't want valuation.
Just
No,
sell
sell them.
Can you come to a chair, please?
Sorry, Chair.
Keep your mouth shut, yeah.
The actual motion is that he wants to sell them. If you want to amend that motion, we'll need to vote on it first.
So we've got.
Selling prior to a price.
Well, no, you're not just going to randomly put it on eBay, are you? But what I'm talking about is the motion is to sell it. Do we agree to sell it? Then we get prices.
I don't think we'll be selling it on eBay.
No, eBay. I'm being facetious, sorry. But that's
Should be from public auction.
That'll be the valuation.
And the
To sell them.
trailer, no good.
It's been proposed to sell them and get a smaller machine. So can we first vote on that, and then if there's any amendments, we can vote on that. So, oh, sorry,
Can I just ask?
Eric, yeah.
I understand where you're thinking.
Can I have mine?
Keep going tall, there's a lot of role playing on Cemetery Road, is that right? In car park
It's
there.
on the Sandygate.
Sandygate. And I mean, does all that want shifting?
Well, the idea was to extend car park, but because of COVID, we've never got around to it.
Yeah. I mean, what's that now?
Well, it could, it's
Oh,
still
sorry.
with a smaller digger, but not as fast.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, if there's a lot of work for it to do the work and dispose of them then, if that's, you know, most of the work.
So am I right in saying that obviously we've got one staff that can use these machines on the road?
We've got one staff that can get them to site, and then we've got 3 staff that can use them.
So we're gonna,
Chair, can I just?
yeah,
So, didn't we get a price up the cost 6 months ago on the meetings? I believe we did.
Yeah, we did.
You got a price for how much the equipment was worth about 6 months ago.
The digger, yeah, I think,
We were quite a bit, yeah. So it's out, so I think that had prices there already.
still not what the motion is, isn't it? The motion is to sell it.
We've got the value, sorry, not a price. We've got what the value is at.
Well, it will be on your asset register.
Assess what work we've done, and then get a, while it's being done, get a valuation of them, and then if they're not being used every week, then yeah, I agree with that, moving on. They've done
yeah.
the job.
Can we go back to,
Madam Chair, there's
Right.
one thing you forgot, which I mentioned before to you. The tractor won't fully, first low gear going that Churchill, there's no other gear.
It's been to enter the allotments a dozen times, it's been to west end allotments a dozen times. There's car park to dig out at one of them, that's where we're waiting for plans to come through for that. So it could do that job, and like I said, if we assess, we've got 2 months' work for it, get a valuation, and then move it on so we can get test considered.
right, so we'll go back,
You're not going to lose it.
Belfast Acres proposed to sell, we'll do that first, and then we'll have any amendments. So, all those councillors that want to sell the plant. Right. Yeah, well, that was, that's probably. It's carried anyway, so.
I've flown away.
Item 24, seaside trip, provisions of coaches to consider the provision of coaches for seaside trips for parishioners during the summer holidays. Councillor Hurd.
Yeah, that's me, that, got kids during summer holidays because way people are struggling in it. I think they deserve to get away for a day or two. Yeah. sell all that machinery, will it?
Council bench.
They'll not make no top machinery out.
Yeah,
That'll be a loss.
They're all fucking bent, the bench and that job.
How many buses are we talking about, Maxine?
Well, we need to figure out if we're gonna.
Well, we need to do a business plan then, don't we?
Is that done, eh?
That's a good one, isn't it? That's what.
Can you come to the chair, please?
I'm just telling you, that would have good on that, Jane.
It's not a business plan if you're not making money, Chair. That's not really what a business
So what you're saying is that we've got to wait now
Cost
to whether
is.
kids can go on a day trip.
then, yeah?
Can I sell that big tractor? They can buy a bus.
No, we're not paying them.
Then they get a bus driver.
So I think Alan,
Didn't I? No, it's just.
oh, okay.
That's a way to be day trips, ladies and gents.
Right, so
Two coaches make sense, yeah? Maxine, are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
I'll second
then
it.
you're only going to get a small proportion of people on two coaches. There's going to be people that are going to be able to be upset when they can't take the kids. And then there's obviously parents
It's
as
two
well.
coaches of kids that are going to Seaside more than none before, isn't it?
No, I'm only saying that you'll upset a lot of people, that's all. You can't, you know, you can't take everybody, can you?
See, last year when they did it, I'm not saying no wrong, but when Shane did it, it was a good thing, you see. But when we want to do it, it's not, is it?
Just a minute, I want, just a minute, I want Nancy to come in.
Well, Maxine, it was nothing to do with the council. That was Chance's Help the Needy. No, but you were making out that it was something to do with the council. Yeah, but why did you make it though it was something to do with the council? It was Chance's Help the Needy, nothing to do with the council.
I say go to the council.
The way you were talking, you bird, yes, you did.
Right, can we just come to order then? We're gonna...
Don't pull funny faces at me. You are.
Excuse me. You can't come to order. Right, so we're gonna get some... If you don't come to order, we'll have a vote for you to leave the room.
You're not going to get me to leave the room though, are you? It's a public place.
It's a council meeting. It's not a public place. It's public and attending, yes. Jane.
Why don't we just, instead of the bickering and that, why don't we just go ahead and say, right, we're going to do it for 200 people, whatever the coaches, and look into it and see how much it costs and get it done.
Yeah, I think I was going to get some
Yeah.
costings on and how many people they're doing and how old they're going to be as well. Because
How
other
old,
things, how
Oh,
old,
kids.
if they can go on their own, what age group you want to do it, you want to do.
I don't think of it that way.
If we do families,
Yeah, right, okay then. So we'll bring that back then, Alan.
Sorry,
Are we voting to consider it?
we need to vote first. So Maxine put a motion forward. Maxine, do you want to keep it at 4 coaches? So Maxine's put a motion forward to take 4 coaches to the Seaside. I'll second it, and then we need to vote on it. Pass these standing orders and said we agree to them. I don't think anybody's following them.
Well, we were all in, I think we're all in agreement with it, that's why sometimes it just happens like that.
so if we vote to pass it,
If this is what you, if this is
if we
what
vote to
needs to be
pass
done
it,
everything,
and then look at the
anytime,
costing,
then we'll do it.
pass it if it's feasible. Yeah.
People apply for what?
Comes up first come, first served.
Yeah.
No, but
Have you thought about applying for a community grant, a local capital community grant? So the next meeting is 16th of May, and it's for things like probably this that you could apply for, and maybe get more coaches, and give the kids some pocket money and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's worth a thought.
Right, so we've got a proposal, are we going to vote on that proposal? For 4 coaches? And then get some costings?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to vote on?
Yeah.
About coaches.
Cost of 1,200 quid for 4 coaches.
Item 25, defibrillator, Kingsley, to consider provision of a defibrillator in Kingsley.
Yeah.
Is there any ideas for location?
There's one at Walk Park, there's one halfway up. Yeah. Towards Fitzwilliam, because there's one at Fitzwilliam.
What about the train station? In Fitzwilliam.
But there's already one in Fitzwilliam.
Is there?
Yeah, one in between Fitzwilliam and Walk Park.
What about Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, it's got to be.
That's majority of people.
Yeah, 1,800. Right, so I think we've agreed that we do want obviously 1,800 fitted. So we'll leave that with you, Alan, and yeah, so we've all approved that anyway.
Sorry, just somebody that's watching the live stream has just said, could we have the defibrillator at the King? Is that a bit too close to what?
No, we can't. It's too near Walk
Just
Park.
saying, one of the residents asking, so somebody else is suggesting the Learning and Community Centre.
That'll be
Yeah,
about the
because we do
middle.
have one at the cafe bar, so I think that's more better. Yeah. Item 26, Council Chamber, photographs of past chairmen, to consider the provision of framed photographs in the Council Chamber for our past chairmen.
This is mine. I think the right word is reprovision. So it's not just me who raised it. I know a few others have said it. When we were in the council chambers the other week, I noticed that there's 2 nails with pictures missing.
Yeah.
So we've done some checking, and 2 of those photos have been removed. It's the council's history. It needs to go back up again. And we can continue that with every chair, but we don't get to select and we don't get to remove them.
What was that?
Yeah, well, that's fine. Where are they, Alan?
I think we're going to get pictures.
Right,
So,
yeah, I think, I don't think they'll disappear, they'll be somewhere, Alan, can you look into that? Item 27, local infrastructure and facilities, to consider contacting Wakefield Council with concerns regarding the lack of local infrastructure and facilities. Well, yeah.
I think everybody is about losing these facilities, especially playing facilities for children, football teams, etc. Everything's going under houses.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a blade of grass somewhere in this parish. It's disgusting.
It is very disgusting.
Houses and fast food.
Yeah.
That's Planet Wakefield. It's disgusting.
Well, we do have newly elected.
Yeah, would you like me to speak?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is disgusting.
Well,
please show me what is just raised, yeah.
Well, I am newly elected.
Can we have the mic,
I
please?
was the one that actually put the plans out there that were happening up Highfield Road, because nobody else did. And it was shared all over, and people took my Facebook post and shared it everywhere. I've actually launched comments. Have you all launched comments on the site?
Yes.
Yeah, every single one of you.
No, I am.
No.
Council.
Right. Well, I would ask you all, councillors, to put your comments on that site, because we need every single one of you to object. Now, the objection is to it being taken out and put into the plan. The next thing will be planning permission, if that would go forward. And again, you do need to object to planning as a town council, but also as individual councillors, as I will be doing. And I will be supporting every resident against any planning that encroaches on our green spaces. So you all need to too. Thank you.
I didn't pinch your Highfield Road thing. if you look at mine, it's a bit illiterate, for want for a better word. So if I pinched it, I'll put the illiteracies down to you.
I didn't say you
Thank
did.
you.
Is there anything about preaching?
I didn't say that.
No, what did you didn't say about it?
Is there anything about preaching shed?
Did say,
You know what I mean?
I said there's a shed, not...
Are you talking to me?
Shane.
Well done.
and I think that's what you've done.
Why?
So, you know, we're taking advice from level 4 as
It's
well.
good to say that though, isn't it? Because it's on one vote then. We're only one thing.
Well, I did
Everybody's
mention
got
it.
to put one separately.
I did mention it on the last one, as Councillor Middleton said. I did say you need to, because I was on planning at Wakefield for 4 years, and you have every like Melanie Jones has just said, that you don't do it collectively of petitions because it classes one vote. So I did mention that, and that's why it got mentioned again. So if that's what it takes to do, that's what we'll do.
So, can I just ask you, just actually said you've got to do them individually, so why have you done it through the town council? Because
we've done it as
through the
the council,
that
we
will
can
be just,
do it.
but that will be just classed as one.
You never did it properly. Woodlands.
I think it's just a lesson learned, isn't it? We can't do it about this one, but as Councillor Jones says, you know, moving forward, we're all now aware that that's how we need to do it, and do it on behalf of our constituents that we represent.
I think we've got 85 on the website.
So we forgot about LP 21.
So people's objections are going forward.
Let's look at Highfields and forget about LP 21.
Item 28.
Load 'em up.
Julie?
Yeah. Can I just say something? Several meetings, one or two councillors have actually said, well, what's John Trickett doing about it? Can I say Mr. Trickett has done everything about it. He's been on board, he's been supporting us since last August. He's actually spoke very well. I don't know if you all saw his Houses of Commons speech after the Queen's speech the other day. He spoke absolutely brilliantly about his constituency, about how deprived we are, about how he cares, how he's committed, and that's how he's done for the residents of Woodlands and residents of Springvale Rise. He even came on election result day to my house last Thursday. We spent some time going through it all. So before another councillor says, which I believe came from this side, well, what's John Trickett doing about it? Let me just tell you, Mr. John Trickett is doing everything about it, which is just a shame this council didn't.
Right, we'll move on. Item 28, local playing fields. To consider contacting Sports England with concerns regarding local playing fields being used for other uses and not being replaced or timelessly or otherwise.
When we've got young children wanting this council to find them a playing field, and we just say that we can't have them all being taken. We just beg it, it's beyond belief, Gene, what's going on. Sorry, Chair.
Yes.
I just cannot believe it, Chair, and I do think we need to get Sport England on board and see if they can bring an halt to it.
We've got land. We've got land. Sorry.
You know, I mean, they're on about now, there's a full-size football pitch at Michael Road. It should be replaced by a full-size football pitch. They're on about replacing it with a junior pitch. It's not good enough, Chair.
No. Alan, can you do some contacting?
I have written to Sport England myself in the past about it, expressing concern, but, you know, very disappointing.
I'd just like to say I would like the town council to work with me on this rather than against me. Obviously I want to see sports facilities in Hemsworth, Kinsley, Fitzwilliam and South Hindley. So I would hope that you would support me on this. I have put this to planning and I would like you to support me on this. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think we're on the same mind with that. Obviously, you know, one of the things that we're going to mention was actually getting our district councillors here, especially at a full council meeting, you know, to see what you even bet me to that.
Yeah,
That we need to see our councillors. Yeah, but I know you are, but we have two others, and I think it would be nice to get us all involved as well. I know you just said that, and that's great, and that's the first because not many do.
Yeah, well, they're on about land to make pictures for kids, football pictures, big or small. There's land at Fitzwilliam. You know, it's been told to the council.
Sorry, Anne, sorry.
Go on,
You can call me you can call me anything you want. You'll be politer than a lot of people. We've got land at Fitzwilliam. Well, we've got land at Kinsley, we've got land at, but if you do it properly, you can split it between the older ones and the younger ones. If you do it, they don't all have to go on the same day. You know, and if you do it right, it's, it'll work out right. But nobody was listening. Nobody's listened. The council hasn't listened to us.
Chair, I asked Alan if he'd, the council would write a letter of thanks to Mr. Rowley for offering facilities for children from, you know, from area to play football, like, you know, it might as well play like as well. I don't know if he's wrong to him, but and obviously Kingsley as well.
Oh, it's on the next agenda. I've just been informed.
Jean, can I just say, please?
Yeah.
It's a pity that people weren't saying that about 12 or 13 years ago when we got a splendid sports facility
Excuse
around.
me, can we just let him speak, please? No, we can't. He hasn't said
You
anything
don't want to
yet.
hear. It's a pity that 12 or 13 years ago that people weren't saying that. And I'm saying, I hear to say, yes, we need this sport facility. Why didn't you say that 12 and 13 years ago and try and save it? There were 1,000 people marched down there and they were just ignored.
No,
There were, Anne. But, and the other thing, right, the rank hypocrisy of things that I see now, I cannot believe it. As regards now, you know, the LP21, there's been a lynch mob up here for the last how many weeks, etc. And the thing is, as regards that LP21, in 2017, right, the town council made aware that the proposals were there to build to the east of Wakefield Road within Hemsworth. Now, where do you think they were going to build it? Was it going to be on the church? Was it going to be on Fairlead Park? Was it going to be on the college? Or was it going to be in the clouds? The only place it could have been was where they're proposing it to be now. And as regards the rank hypocrisy, as regards Wakefield, they've not done the job. You've got a situation where the chair of planning, right, has done a Lord Lucan and disappeared, and the district councillors as well. And now they've got the hypocrisy to turn up and they say it's much needed housing when it were down here, and yet they want sports facilities up there.
Sorry, Chair, can I ask what his question is? Can I just ask what his question is? Yes, Melanie.
Well, you didn't say that when you didn't say that when other people didn't ask questions.
Can I not let me ask you questions? I'm asking what you can. We just got a question.
Yes, the question is, why are you all a bunch of hypocrites?
Can I come in? I'm going to do this orderly. No, can I come in?
Please, may I come in, Chair?
I'll let you come in.
Thank you. I was elected last Thursday.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I'm here.
Why weren't you at the meeting the other night then?
Because I was in training. Because you were
right.
being sworn in.
Jean,
Right.
could I just ask one question? None about sports facilities and everything else for young. What about schools for young'uns? Never mind taking Greenbelt and everything. Put 3 schools back at Woodlands. Do something, but do it for community and infrastructure, not for housing development, so you can have preset payers' money in council tax. They can have as many fields as they want, but without schools to educate kids, what's the point?
Well,
there's no money in schools, is there?
There's
no
not-
money
well,
in schools for them.
is
That's
that
why
what it
they
is?
build houses.
Yeah.
But that's what we need. We need some infrastructure in village before we look at football pitches or all else.
To do with the planning and what's happening in the area, it's ridiculous. We've got Melanie Jones here, I'm sure she's going to take it back. She's been taking notes, and I'm sure that something will be done about it. We need to get the other council as well on board. Right, we're going to move on now to 29, Hemsworth Water Park Fun Fair. To consider a request to have a fun fair at the park during the August bank holiday weekend. Yeah, well, where's this come from? I mean, no, so we've had an inquiry about it then. So what do people think about that? We cannot, obviously...
Can I just ask, so is this the same company who, for the Queen's Festival, says yes they would do a fun fair, and then last minute says no they wouldn't do a fun fair?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, just what to make sure.
No, that's not correct, mate.
They said do a fun fair, and then they said they couldn't do the fun fair.
Jim, we've had an email conversation on this, and I've proved
Can we
to you
just
the
not,
conversation.
we just, can we just
It's
go
just
on?
sharing the meeting from the other side of the room, though, isn't it?
He's not
Yeah.
chairing the meeting.
He is.
No, he's not.
He is.
He's trying.
No, he's not.
He's trying.
All right,
He's trying.
Chair, can I just say, I've had
It's as simple as that.
Right, but I've had a conversation with you about this, Jim, already. You're saying that the fair was cancelled when we cancelled the Venga Boys. That's incorrect. After we cancelled the Venga Boys, there was a motion brought to the meeting where that gentleman asked if he could have a fair on that ground, on that same night. Now, either you're misunderstanding or you're trying to gaslight. But please, stop repeating things that are not true.
Right,
Because
can
you're
we...
making us all look stupid.
Right, can we have a response now to that?
No response to that. Unitucker were asked as part of the summer festival to provide a fun fair.
They were also providing fencing for us free of charge, if you remember, which was 11th hour fee. And then when that was cancelled, he went to another village, he went somewhere else, and by the time we'd asked him for that date again, pop third, and that weekend, he was already booked
So why
somewhere
did
else.
we, after that meeting,
No, that
then,
was
why
it.
did you ask to put a fair on that ground?
Because
I want it in the notes.
if this council had just cancelled part of Summer Festival and kept him on, and others would have still been able to have him.
Well, the fact is, he can't do it, and we couldn't do that. We can do this now, so,
So where would we propose to put this fair?
well, this is what we're saying. Alan's just said that car park is used for overspill. And it can't go on the car park in the park, because that's car park.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, so several years ago when there was some land that wasn't really done and correctly so in all vote for, wasn't part of the deal, we'll level it and fence it and then we'll let the council use it?
An overflow car park, maybe.
Yeah, your side is what I'm saying, wasn't that the agreement?
Farmer's side, why can't we just use that as an overflow car park and then let them have his fair at top?
It was agreed for the Venga Boys, and obviously
Well,
for
we
any...
don't put them below, so we can't have it anymore.
No. You see, Dolly, you're not listening to me, are you? You just want to jump in to make things worse. No, can you just listen to my response then? We agreed for any special occasions. That's what we agreed to. And I mentioned the Venga Boys because that was the priority. Then the seaside event, bonfire and so on. And that's what we mentioned.
For 10 fair.
I think the fun fair is quite a special event.
Yeah. August bank holiday.
And I think people, councillors seem to forget as well, that the last fair we had on the...
It was brilliant, it really was.
Yeah,
We thank you for it.
and that...
I personally did.
And, well, if you did, then thank you, but I didn't see anybody else saying anything. But that's not the point. It's not about that for us. But the money that was the council originally going to get for the Overspill car park that they couldn't make because it was too soggy and everything, obviously, they did come to us and we said yes. And we mentioned at the meeting that that money would stay at the council. So that was £800. Also, let me just say as well that when they had the bonfire, because there's many rumours going around on Facebook and others, that The money that were taken at that car park was put in the council coffers for the community. It wasn't charged at £5 a piece in the Ethel's coffers. And no, so let's get this straight. That's £1,080. £1,080.
Can we use that
No, but you jumped in on the first thing, and I just want to make that clear.
Jean, can I just correct you on that? Because in previous meetings, it hasn't been £800 being taken. It
wasn't £800 being taken.
You've just
I
said.
said 280.
No, you didn't. You said 800. You said 800. It's 800.
I apologise. It was £800 for the fair, and then on bonfire night, the cars paid £1 to park, and it went to the council. It's £1,080 to the council. Despite what everybody's been saying about these modest amounts and only. Right, we are going to move on. Well, we're not going to move on because we need to decide whether this fun fair is going to go ahead or not.
So where can we have it?
Well, I'm opening it to councillors and to see what we say.
What's your recommendation on?
It's that time of year, the overflow car park is needed because it's packed. You know, other times in the year when you have the fair, obviously it's too wet up there and less busy. So it's needed for the overflow car park really, but it's up to you.
So you're recommending that we can't really accommodate it?
Not there, no, because if you have it there, that's the overflow car park goes on probably the busiest weekend of the year. And it gets busy enough as it is. If you have the fair and take that car park, the gridlock will be doubly bad.
Yeah.
So we're saying
So are we going to all vote on, obviously...
Can the dog track not be asked if they can do it in their car park?
Well, they have done it before, but then again, it's bank holiday.
Can they be asked again then?
They might be...
Can they not be asked again? I've got a dog track, so they're not open to the public, so... But if they're asked, then they open it to the public. Could it not dream that Joanne's dog track offer the facilities?
So we've agreed then, we're going to...
Well, they've got a lot of control, man, well, but when I can make the tractor, we've got from council. You're not allowed that, no, it's not allowed
Right, item 13, freedom of information request. The town clerk to report on an anonymised freedom of information request received and to authorise the respective responses accordingly. Item 31, exclusion of press and public. Members of the...
Somebody wants to feed information request.
It's all right.
Item 31, exclusion of press and public. Members of the public and the press to be excluded from the consideration of business of a confidential nature as per the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960. So, very good evening and have a safe journey out.
See you later.
See you later. Cheerio, Ian.
Yeah,